All right, this is the third video in the series. I'm probably just going to stop saying numbers because I'm going to lose track of this at some point, and it really doesn't matter. What matters is that you're here and that you're here to learn how to get my kids started in golf. As you can see, this is me at the PGA Championship at Belle Reve in St. Louis, Missouri. In one of my other videos, I talked about how I like to get autographs of the kids on my hat now as a recommendation from my son. So when you listen to your kids, great things happen. You're a parent, you're trying to figure out, what do I do? What is this golf thing? I've never played maybe, or I've played a little bit. I'm gonna run through just a really high-level explanation for you of a couple really important things that you need to understand about kind of getting started in this whole game of golf. Let's dispel a few misconceptions, right, or misperceptions. Number one, a lot of people think, oh, I'll never get started in the game of golf because it's so expensive. Okay, if you saw my last video on lacrosse, you will know that it is not as expensive as lacrosse. There's a lot of ways that you can do things expensively, and there's a lot of ways that you can do things inexpensively. We know that about life. You can price shop for hotels, for vacations, for cars, for anything you want, or you can just kind of blindly go into it and waste a whole bunch of money. I'm going to show you how to get started, and you can figure out on your own budget exactly how much you want to spend. I'm going to show you a very inexpensive way to kind of figure this thing out. Some of the things that I'm going to point out to you in this video are just really high level. So expensive things, expensive game, not necessarily. Okay, let's talk about access. Golf courses don't allow access for kids or people to begin. Not necessarily true. You've just got to find the right place. And I'm telling you, a majority, 80, 90% of places are way more welcoming than you think. The problem is you just don't know, right? You don't know what you're supposed to do. Maybe you've gone to a place wearing some denim jeans or something and you got kicked out and you thought, well, they just don't like me. Well, places like that have a dress code, right? Just like going to a restaurant. No shirt, no shoes, no service, right? Certain places have a reason for that. When you're getting started in the game of golf, the intimidation of the environment can be real. You go in, you don't really know where do I go to the shop? How do I purchase range balls for the driving range? It's one really cool thing about Topgolf is that you can basically go and do Topgolf and just be yourself and hang out and have fun. I love Topgolf, and I think it's a great way for people to get started. So if there's a Topgolf in your area, go check it out. Go have some dinner. It's kind of like a bowling alley for golf environment where you can just go have some fun, make a few swings. The problem is when you're trying to learn the game of golf, really the best way to learn, and Tiger Woods and his dad would attest to this, is starting from the hole back. Okay, well, one of the problems with Topgolf is you're not really putting into a hole like on a putting green, although you are putting to targets, right? I'm not saying anything bad about Topgolf. I think it's awesome. I love taking my family there. The problem with Topgolf is that little kids, we're talking 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds, they may not be able to succeed at striking that ball and sending it into a target. So you're a parent of a young kid. Let me help you figure this out. If you have questions on any of this, just post them in the comments. I'll reply with detailed information for you, especially if I miss something. So what I'm going to do is show you a couple of things. So we're on Google. This is just regular Google search engine. And what I have is a couple of tabs open. One of them says Springfield Golf Resort, and the other one says Western Skies Golf Club. Now, these just happen to be two golf courses that I'm a fan of that are really fun and family-friendly that are in Chandler and in Gilbert, Arizona. And I'm just going to use this map here, use this Google Maps that I've converted into satellite instead of, the street map, just so that you can see this, right? If you're intimidated at all by a golf course, go check it out. Read some of the reviews. Give them a phone call first. This park, if you will, has a couple of things that you really want to look for. One is a driving range, typically identified by this big rectangular space. And if you look, typically from Google Satellite, you'll see that one end of it has like kind of like sandy tracks right here where divots have been taken, and that is where the golfers are hitting from, and they're blasting balls out into the driving range right here. Another thing that you're going to look for is this kind of funny looking shapes. These are putting greens, right? Some putting greens, and this one in particular I know, is a practice putting green with a practice bunker. These ones over here, this is actually hole 9. This particular one over here ends by the water. That's hole 18, okay? So when you're looking at the golf course, that's hole 10 that goes that way. When you're looking at the golf course on a map like this, it really helps you to kind of get an idea. You would park, there's the parking lot, come into the clubhouse and ask for the golf shop or pro shop. You would maybe say, hey, do you have a practice putting green? Is there a fee for the practice putting green? Okay, in this case, I don't believe there is. They may have changed their policies, but I don't believe Western Skies has a fee for that. So you could take a putter, which you can buy for $10. You can find one at Goodwill. I'm going to have some recommendations for you on how to get a custom little one. Let's see if I've got mine here. Right, so here's a tiny little putter that you can get your little one started in the game of golf with. You don't have to necessarily pay. If you've got a putter and a golf ball, you can have tons of fun out here on using this property. So I've got some really, really cool points on how to do this as a parent and how to do it right, okay? So as a 20-year golf pro, I've been teaching before I had kids. And now that I've got kids, I've watched them and coached them, and I've been able to learn so many valuable lessons from them. And I've had tons of failures, right? So I'm here to help you not go through those same kind of stumbling blocks. So here's your park. You need to know how to navigate this safely. You need to be able to do it on a budget, and you need to be able to do it in such a way that it doesn't spoil this growth opportunity for your kids. Okay, a lot of times I see parents, they'll come in here, their kid wants to stop and watch TV, but they're like, no, 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 we have an agenda, we have a time. They drag them out the door, they drag them over to the driving range, they dump out a bucket of balls, and then they just say, okay, you hit there and have fun while I hit over here. Before you know it, that little guy could be 3, 4, 5 years old, is wandering off and almost getting hit by another golfer. And I'm there as a golf pro down there teaching, going, time out, parent. This is not going to go well. Either that kid's going to get injured, you're going to get injured trying to get in the way to save your kid from another golf swing, or they're just going to storm off and cry. They may end up going up underneath a tree, and guess what? Then they get bit by ants. Now, these are all the pitfalls. These are things that you need to be really engaged in with your kids. So I've got another video coming up that's going to walk you through that, but let's stay top level here. Okay, so driving ranges. In some cases, you can buy or rent basically a bucket of balls. You may pay $10 for that. Okay, it depends on the budget of the courses in your area, but for that fee, you're going to blast those golf balls out. Now, if you get 60 golf balls in a bucket and you hit them all out on the driving range, guess what? Your time is done. Right? In some cases, you can hit a golf ball just every few seconds, and you're kind of done with your day, and it's only taking you 30 minutes. But out here, you can enjoy the putting green. You can actually play from the hole backwards and get your kids started in the game properly. Okay? So a couple things you're going to want to do when you go to a golf course or go to their website. After you pick up the phone or you read through the information, you're going to want to know their hours of operation. Okay, they're not open necessarily 24/7, although it sometimes feels like it. You're also going to want to know, do they have a night driving range? Is there an opportunity for you to hit balls after dark, right? Or use any of the practice facilities after dark. You're also going to want to know, do they offer junior golf instruction? What age do they typically start their golf instruction for kids? Okay, this is all information that can typically be found on the website. You may have to pick up a phone call and talk to one of the staff in the shop, or talk to one of the professionals that are more in a management position at the golf course. Okay, Also, golf courses have restaurants. Some golf courses have amazing shakes and burgers and awesome food. So you may want to go check one of those out. Let's take a look at Springfield. Okay, so at Springfield, again, they have a clubhouse. Now, Springfield was originally designed within a retirement community, so this particular golf course is not as long or as challenging as a championship golf course. So when your kid's moving through those steps, you want to know, is it a little bit easier for my kid? A lot of cases, the fairways don't have as much trouble in them. They don't have as many water hazards. This particular course has some great water features, challenging shots, but the holes are not necessarily championship length. So especially if you're starting to learn as a parent as well, this may be a great place to go. Again, they have a nice restaurant, right? If you wanted to go and hang out and eat some food or get a shake, get some ice cream, they'll be able to sell you that there at the golf course. And right here is, again, a practice putting green. And then right here is the tee line, you would call the tee off area of the driving range. So right in this area. And at this particular golf course, they hit to the north, and at Western Skies, they were hitting to the south, right? So this is the driving range right here, tee line, practice green, and that's the 9th green over there. So getting familiar with the property, that'll help settle you, right? Especially when I started learning lacrosse with my kids, I had no idea what all the lines were for. What's that circle for? What's that D? What's that half circle for around the goal? Or that big circle around there? What does all that mean? So you've got to understand your environment a little bit more. That'll settle you. You've got to also understand the fees. In this case, this may be news to you. Big revelation, free, right? No charge to go use the putting green. Just take your putter, take your little kid's putter, take a golf ball, go out there 15, 20, 30 minutes. Just enjoy that. I've got some distinct steps I'm going to share with you in one of my upcoming videos. It's really going to help you to understand the psychology of that and getting your kids started correctly. So if I've missed anything here that hasn't captured or that hasn't answered a question for you, please post it in the comments underneath this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can get the upcoming videos. We'll see you in the next video.